Hello friends, welcome back to Padhiye with Prachi. Today is lesson 2 of class 10th Maths CBSE NCERT and the chapter is Polynomials. So let's start. We'll move on to the next part of the aspect of the chapter, which is relationship between zeros and coefficients of a polynomial. We are going to see the relationship between a zero of a polynomial and the coefficients of the polynomial, right? So we already know in case of a linear equation, a linear polynomial, the value of x at which this polynomial becomes 0 is minus b by a. So this is the zero of the polynomial, and the coefficient, you can see that it's a the coefficients are expressed in some form here. So now let's look at quadratic and cubic. Okay, so first we'll do quadratic. So what we are assuming here is that alpha and beta are the values of x at which the polynomial becomes 0. So alpha and beta are the zeros of the quadratic polynomial, right? So this is the quadratic polynomial. When x is equal to alpha, x is equal to beta, these are the zeros of the polynomial, right? So let's find this out. So ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0, right? So we already know this is how to represent x if it is alpha, then it is represented like this. We already know this, right? So now what we are going to do is we are going to mention that here x square, if we open the brackets, right, this is what it comes to be. So if we now look at these terms here, so this is a, this is b, this is c. How do we equate these numbers, right? So we'll divide this by a, and then we are going to equate these two numbers, right? So we are going to equate these numbers. So what does alpha plus beta come as? So the sum alpha plus beta is equal to minus b by a, and alpha beta is equal to c by a, right? Because it's plus here minus here, so this is what it is. So what are these two? These are the zeros of the polynomial. So sum of zeros of a polynomial, quadratic polynomial, sum of zeros of a quadratic polynomial is equal to minus b by a, and product is c by a, right? So let's now move on to the cubic one. So moving on to the cubic polynomial, we are assuming alpha, beta and gamma are the zeros of this cubic polynomial, right? So how do we represent? So ax cube plus bx square plus cx plus d. We are going to equate this. So first we are going to open these back brackets, right? So what is this? First we are just multiplying these two. It's similar to how we did earlier. Now we are going to multiply this. So first multiply x by all of the numbers, x cube, right? X when multiplied here, it will be alpha plus beta, x square. Here when x is multiplied, it's alpha beta x. When gamma is multiplied here, it is minus gamma square. We can put here, right? Minus gamma square. When gamma is multiplied to this, it's alpha gamma, beta gamma in the negative, right? Alpha gamma, beta gamma in the negative, and x is here. And we already know that this is alpha beta x, so we can put it here. Right, alpha beta x. Gamma when we multiply by this is actually plus, because minus and minus become plus, right? So this is there, and alpha beta gamma. So this is it. So now if you look at this and this, again divide this by a, So what do you get? sum of the zeros is minus b by a, sum product c by a, and multiplication is d by a. I think there's something missing here. Let me just see. Alpha, so this is actually not this, it's minus. So this is minus d by a. Summary, for a linear, quadratic and cubic polynomial, linear polynomial, if the zero of the polynomial is separated by alpha, then alpha equal to minus b by a. These are the coefficients. For a quadratic polynomial, if the zeros of the polynomial alpha beta, then the relationship is this: alpha beta equal to minus b by alpha beta equal to c minus c by a. And if it's a cubic polynomial, then it is this, right? So this is what we learned. So now we are going to move to exercise 2.2 and we're going to solve the questions there. Okay, exercise 2.2. The questions are: find the zeros of the following quadratic polynomials and verify the relationship between zeros and the coefficient. So first we are going to do first question. So we have to find the zeros of the polynomial. That means it equal to 0. We have learned this previously in our previous classes, not my classes, your previous classes. We have to split the middle term. So how do we split it? We have to see the factors of this. 8, it's 2 cube. So to see the various combinations which will bring us to this. So we know it will be like this: 4x plus 2x minus 8, xx minus 4 plus 2x minus 4 equal to 0, x plus 2, x minus 4 equal to 0. So the zeros of the polynomial are x minus 2, x 4. Now we have to verify whether, so what is alpha plus beta? Minus b by a. What is minus b by a? What is b? Minus 2. So minus of minus 2 by a, which is 1, is 2. What is alpha plus beta? 4 minus 2, 2. Verified. What is the product of the zeros? Minus 8. And in terms of coefficient, c by a, what is c here? Minus 8. A is 1. So it is very. These 3 questions of exercise 2.2 part 1. We're just going to solve this. Okay, we are going to split. As I said, we are going to split the middle one here. So what is this? 4 is 2 into 2. So 2s is common, 2s minus 1 minus 1 is common, 2s plus minus 1. We have to make sure that this and this is same. I think you've learned this in previous classes, but I'm just telling you. 2s minus 1, 2s minus 1. So s is equal to 1 by 2. So s is equal to 1 by 2, s is equal to 1 by 2, 1 by 2. So that there are 2 zeros here, which is the same, 1 by 2. So there's a, yeah, which is the same. So it will hit only one point on the x-axis. That means it is a 1. But solutions would be 2, which is 1 by 2, and again 1 by 2, right? So what is alpha plus beta? So what is a? First we are going to identify what is a here. A is 4, b is minus 4, and c is 1, right? For this. So what is minus b by a? It is minus 4 by 4, which is minus of minus 4, right? Which is 1, right? And what is this? Alpha and beta, 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2, which is 1. Proved. What is the product? C by a. What is C1? What is A4? Right? And what is this? 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2. Sorry, product, right? 1 by 2, 1 by 4. Hence proved. Right? Let's moving on to the next question. Now this is the middle term. It's just specified here to confuse you guys. Okay, so it's actually 6 squared minus 7x minus 3. So let's just figure out. So how do we figure this out? I'm just going to explain it again. So this is, we have to look at this 6 and 3. Combinations of the factors of 6 and 3 which leads to 7, right? So 6 is what? 3 into 2, and this is 3. Right? So it seems to be 9 minus 2 to me. Right? So we are going to split the middle term in a way that it becomes minus 7x. Here what is common? 3, 2x, 3x, 2x minus 3 plus 1, 2x minus 3 and equal to 0, obviously we are finding the 0. 3x plus 1, 2x minus 3 is equal to 0. So the zeros are x is equal to minus 1 by 3 and 3 by 2, right? Minus 1 by 3, equating this to 0, by 3 and 3 by 2. What is a, b and c here? A is 6, b is minus 3, b is minus 7. Confusing you guys. B is minus 7 and c is minus 3, right? So let's find out the minus b by a, right? Minus b by a is the sum, which is 1 by 3. So let's just make space for this one. Okay, so we are going to look at what is minus b by a here. What is this? Alpha plus beta, right? So first we are going to look at the LHS. What is minus b by a? Minus of minus 7 by a, which is 6. What is this? 7 by 6. This is the LHS. What is the RHS here? Minus 1 by 3 plus 3 by 2. Minus 1 by 3 plus 3 by 2, which is like 6. Minus 2 plus 9, which is what? 7 by 6. LHS is equal to RHS. Hence, the first one is proof that the sum of the two zeros of a polynomial, quadratic polynomial, is equal to minus b by a. Now again we are going to do c by a. C by a is minus 3 by 6, which is minus 1 by 2. So it has to be the product. What is the product? Minus 1 by 3 into 3 by 2 minus 1 by 2. Right? LHS is equal to RHS, hence proved. So I'm going to show this in the way how you are supposed to write in your answer sheets, right? Because intuitively, understanding wise, we know what it is, but at times we don't know how to specify, or we might just miss it. It's there in my head, but not on our answer sheets. We need to specify step by step. That's what I did, at least. So we know we have to split the middle term such that it comes to this. We have the answer here itself. 4 minus 3 is 1. So it has to be 3x square minus 4x plus 3x minus 4. And we are saying equal to 0, right? So if you want to write a commentary, you can write splitting the middle term. I think this we've studied in the previous classes, you would have studied. So it's not really needed. Maybe you can just write step by step in this manner. But I'm showing it here. Taking common. So what is it? X plus 1, 3x minus 4 equal to 0. So x is equal to minus 1, x equal to 4 by 3. Now for 1, a equal to 3, b equal to minus 1, c equal to minus 4. So now first we are going to do is the sum of the zeros, right? So minus b by a is what? Minus of minus 1 by 3, which is 1 by 3. What is c by a? Minus 4 by 3. Minus 4 by 3. So now this is the LHS. RHS would be the sum of this minus 1 plus 4 by 3, right? Which is what? 1 by 3 itself. LHS is equal to RHS, hence proved. Right here, LHS is equal to RH, hence proved. And here also, minus 1 into 4 by 3, which is minus 4 by 3. LHS is equal to I, hence proved. So, for the next question of exercise 2.2, the question is, find a quadratic polynomial. So, we've been given the, we've been given the sum and product of the zeros, right? So we've been given the sum, in the question what we have been given as the sum and product of the zeros, right? So this is the sum and product of the zeros, which means alpha plus beta is 1 by 4, alpha beta is minus 1. So from here we have to derive the equation, right? So then we have another example of root 2 comma 1 by 3. And then another example, right? So we'll take it step by step. Okay. So what is this? Alpha plus beta is 1 by 4. This is minus b by a. And this is c by a. Now the trick that I use for these questions is, we will make it in such a manner So 1 by alpha plus beta is 1 by 4, right? So we'll make the denominator equal to a, right? So we have to basically construct this polynomial. So for a equal to 4, right, if a is equal to 4, what is b? Minus 1. And for a equal to 4, what is c? Minus 4. So just put this here, 4x square minus x minus 4. This is how we construct. You can do it some other manner also. You can keep a equal to 1 also. If you keep a equal to 1, then b will become minus 1 by 4. So if, let's show that as well. Or you can keep a as 8, for example. Let's keep a as 8. If we keep a as 8, then b will become minus 2 and c will become minus 8. So how do you show it? 8x square minus 2x minus 8 equal to 0, which is, if you remove the common factor, which is again this, right? The other way could be to do a equal to 1. If you put a equal to 1, then b will become minus 1 by 4, c will become minus 1. So it will be like this, somewhat like x square minus 1 by 4x minus 1 equal to 0. So which ultimately is this. So these are the various forms of showing the same polynomial, right? So what I do, the trick is that I make this equal to the denominator. So the question was that this is the sum and this is the product. So you have to, this is the sum and this is the product. Find a, b and c. Construct the polynomial. That's what they want to do. So considering a equal to 1, what will b be? Minus root 2. Considering a equal to, so c could be 1 by 3 here, right? So then it will be x square minus root 2x plus 1 by 3. This is one polynomial. What I generally suggest is, look at both the numbers and equate this to this. This is what I usually do, so that we don't want fractions as our, we can, that's not an issue, that the coefficients cannot be fractions, they can be, but we want to make it simple, clean, so that's why we will take it as a denominator. So how we do this? This is one way of doing it. Same question, and this is also correct answer. A equal to 3, so c will become 1 and b will become, a equal to 3, so b will become minus 3 root 2. So how do you show it? 3x square minus 3 root 2x plus 1 equal to 0. So you can see here, if we multiply this by 3, this also becomes this. So these both answers are correct. So quickly moving on to the remaining sum questions that I have specified for 2.2 exercise 2. So again, the sum of the zeros specified at this is basically what it is, right? So we are going to just do quickly, put a equal to 4, b equal to becomes 1, c equal to 1. So what is this? 4x square plus x plus 1 equal to 0. This is what it becomes. Done. Next, you can just put a equal to 1, b is 0 from this, c is equal to root 5. So x square plus root 5 equal to 0. Okay. Now like this one, a equal to 1, c equal to 1, b equal to minus 4. So x square minus 4x plus 1 equal to 0. You can say the steps is putting a equal to 1 in this, putting a equal to 1 in this. That's how you can show it, right? So this is how we solve for such questions. As I said, the trick is, so for example, in this case, you can take a equal to 1 also. Then c will become 1 by 4. Then b will become 1 by 4, right? So it will be x square plus, what will it be? X square plus 1 by 4x plus 1 by 4 equal to 0, right? So then you have to again multiply for it to look clean. I mean, this is also an answer. I'm not saying it's not. It is an answer to this question. And yeah, so the main purpose is ax square plus bx plus c. We need to know this. We need to know what is a, what is b, what is c, right? And we need to know this. Ax square plus bx plus c, right? And this is how we have to do these questions. Summarizing this chapter, 2 polynomials of class 10 mathematics, NCERT, CBSE for you guys. The summary is, what is a polynomial? Polynomial is an expression in x. What is the degree of polynomial? Degree of a polynomial is the highest power of x in the polynomial. So a linear polynomial is ax plus b, where the degree is 1. A quadratic polynomial is ax square plus bx plus c, where degree is 2. And the highest power of x is 2. And ax cube plus bx square plus cx plus d, the highest power is 3. What is this? What are these known? Linear, quadratic, and all those things. These are how they are represented for the purpose of our understanding, where a is not equal to 0. Why? Because if it becomes 0, then it doesn't become, then it becomes a straight line here. It becomes a quadratic here. Straight line by straight line mean linear. A, b, and c are real numbers. Okay. What is value of a polynomial? Value of polynomial at k, for example, is when we substitute that k, x is equal to k in that polynomial. So what is zeros of px? The value of x at which px becomes equal to 0. In terms of geometrical representation, this means the zeros of polynomials are the points on the x-axis where this graph of this polynomial px intersects the x-axis, right? What are the number of zeros for a polynomial? If it's a linear polynomial, at most 1. If it's a quadratic polynomial, at most 2. It can be 0 also. There could be polynomials, quadratic polynomials, which do not have it become equal to 0. They never hit the x-axis. So it can be 0, it can be 1. X square is an example of 1, and it could be 2. Similarly, in case of cubic polynomial, it can be 0, 1, 2, and 3. Basically, what we're trying to say is that for a polynomial of degree n, at most the number of zeros of the polynomial, or the point at which they are intersecting the x-axis, would be n in the definition I just said. Now this is the main thing which we learned here, right? The relationship between, so if alpha and beta are the zeros of a quadratic polynomial, then the relation between the sum of the zeros is equal to minus b by a, alpha beta is equal to c by a. This we are talking about for this, if it's represented in this form. And if it's represented in this form, this is for cubic polynomial, right? And we also saw how it came to be, and it's a good way to solve for such polynomials, to find the zeros of the polynomials and many such other applications. So this is it for this chapter on polynomials. Hope you were able to understand it. Hope I was able to take you through it. It might be that there might have been some mistakes at the time of solving. I hope they were not. I tried to catch it and I tried to make it correct and get this video done for you guys. Anyways, there could be other ways of solving the same thing. There could be other interpretations of the same thing. This is something which I interpret and in the way I solve. So let me know if you have any other questions or any other comments on my video, on the content, any feedback, and so I'll try to solve your questions in the live session, or maybe I'll bring up another video. Do also let me know, do you want to do more practice questions on it? As of now, I am solving the examples and the exercise question of NCERT. If you want to do more practice question on it, let me know that as well. And just let me know how you found the video. So till then, like, share, comment and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Padhiye with Prachi.